Hey, good afternoon, everybody. We're just getting set up here. Friday, April 3rd, Facebook Live. We'll give everyone a quick second, to get logged on here. As you're getting on, once again, the standard safety message. If you're driving, please turn it off and watch this afterwards. If you're not and watching and listening to this, send us questions. Okay, we're here and we'll do the best we can, to answer all the questions, that we can, for sure. So, and you can probably see my dog here laying down here at the bottom, of the screen as you get on. So, anyway, we will go ahead and get started here. I don't have a lot, that I want to, cover today. Although there is, some pretty significant things that we're going to be sharing with you next week that I think each of you, company drivers and owner-operators alike, will be pretty impressed with here. Okay. I'm going to switch over to this here. Okay. All right, hotspots. The COVID-19 hotspots, they're growing in number, unfortunately. There's just more and more, issues, that come through the country. I've heard some, suggestions that hopefully will peak, in about 2 to 3 weeks, and then, handle the aftermath, from there. But nobody knows yet. More and more, cities and states are going into stay-at-home mandates. Joplin has announced that, for example, that Monday, they're going to be at a stay-at-home mandate. So essentially because of our proactive efforts and our proactive things we've been doing, it doesn't change that much of what our business has been doing the last 3 weeks. Frankly, continue to be responsible, continue to practice social distancing. We are critical and essential, and we've sent out letters for those of you who would like to have them discussing that. With that being said, there's no indication that there's law enforcement's going to be asking or requiring these letters or anything like that, but we have them available. We've emailed them, so print them out, at your leisure. Most or all terminals have them available, to pick up as well. Okay, there are still a couple of subjects that that remain sensitive, and I had a long conversation earlier today with Ty Lander. I don't know if Ty is watching this, but he says, hey, I'm going home, in a few days. And I've got a load that's sending me to the Northeast, and I'm concerned. What if I get contaminated up there and then I take it home? And that's a fair question. It's I'm sure that's a question that each of you have asked, and that's a question that we've gotten frequently from those going to California and to Washington and and obviously the Northeast and other states that, as it comes up. Here's the best information that we can tell you. Okay. We're following the guidelines and the suggestions of the CDC and the WHO, the World Health Organization. If at any point they say, listen, it is just not safe to go to these locations, we're certainly not going to send our drivers there, okay? But the latest information, that we have, from the CDC in particular, regarding, specific hotspots, Northeast, Pacific Northwest, other areas, specifically related to truck drivers. And that's the I think somewhat impressive thing through this is that all these different organizations are responding to the specific needs of drivers. Okay, but here's what the CDC has said: truck drivers and other other people driving into the city to deliver needed supplies should stay in their vehicle as much as possible as supplies are loaded and unloaded. Okay, they should avoid being within 6 feet of others as much as possible when they exit their vehicles. Move to electronic receipts, when possible. And basically try to, don't hand, things back and forth if you can avoid it, okay? We talked a couple of weeks ago, if you can find rubber gloves, plastic gloves, get them. If you're going to Walmart and and you have extra, get some extra plastic bags if nothing else, to exchange things with, and then you can throw those bags away, type of thing. I mean, some of this we're gonna have to be a little bit creative, okay? If you need to spend the night in the hot spots like the New York City area, stay in the hotel room, stay in your cab, and just isolate yourself as much as possible. If you follow all of these steps according to the CDC, okay, and again, this is just the best information that we can pass on, drivers who take these precautions should not need to self-quarantine when they leave the greater New York area. Take this for whatever value you see in it. I mean, this is what the health professionals are telling us and are telling you, okay? Is that enough, to feel assured, that when you're going home, that, there's not, you're not going to be an asymptomatic carrier or what have not? These are the rules and guidelines that I'm following, myself, so I don't expose myself and, and others, that I come in contact with. This is just the best information that we have, so we continue to pass this on and encourage that to each of you. I do think it's important, that we take all of this stuff seriously, but we do what we can to make sure that we don't overreact as well. And for better or for worse, sometimes we just have to rely on health professionals, for best advice. Let me see real quickly if there's any comments or questions to address first. Chad Bruff asked, does anyone know where we get some masks? I'm going to address that topic here in a second here, Chad, okay? And then, Rosa Charles, had a response, about the masks. And Suzanne Faber, yes, thank you. I mean, and one of the really nice things about these Facebook Lives is, drivers helping drivers. I mean, you guys have information and you guys have ideas, that, we're able to share back and forth, which is great, for sure. So, Joseph Lapuma has asked if any of our drivers have been hospitalized yet. And here's what I can tell you. We've had many drivers, and when I say many, a dozen, or so that have shown symptoms. But then, they've all been tested. And as of today, none of our drivers have been, confirmed or diagnosed with the case of COVID-19, so this is something that we continue to monitor, 24/7, we monitor this with our customers, as well. But Joseph, that's a good question, fair question, but to this point, we've had zero, confirmed, diagnosed cases amongst any of our employees, okay? Let me move on. Whoa. So masks, okay? The city of Laredo, Texas, and I'm almost blown away by this. It's required that all individuals over the age of 5 wear some sort of mask when they're out in public. This is Laredo, Texas only. I'm not aware of other cities or states imposing these same regulations, but it may grow to that, right? Those who are caught in public without covering their nose and mouth could face a misdemeanor, fines, yada yada. And then, and I hope you'll forgive some levity when we can. Okay, I mean, this is a serious subject, but hopefully we can still have a sense of humor about it too. Bonda suggests, if you don't have paper masks, get your bandana and put it on train robber style. And this is Kyle Smith, who's demonstrating that, methodology right there. Kyle's one of our planners, based out of Joplin. As others have shared, I mean, get whatever kind of mask that you can, okay? I mean, it's, whether it's a bandana or a scarf or something, okay? We have masks, that we've ordered, but there's just none to be found, and that I've been able to find. Dasky's has ordered a bunch. Sean Wilbur has a bunch ordered, that he's trying to get to Joplin, but we're probably still a couple of weeks away. I know Cheryl and I have, both ordered masks as well from Amazon and other places, and I was supposed to have some next week, but then I just got a message that it's going to be pushed out to the end of the month. So, finding the official germ masks and everything, are difficult. There are ways to make, out of certain fabrics, make your own mask. but as the others have shared, something is better than nothing. You know, what we think we know about the virus is that it's not super durable. I mean, you know, it'll die on its own. It dies with soap and water, you know, and you know, cleaning agents, you know, pretty readily, pretty easily, you know, there. But the big thing is the avoiding droplets, the avoiding spray, you know, type of thing. And so that's where the social distancing, you know, helps eliminate that. And then at the very least, you know, covering, you know, with the bandana, as Kyle's demonstrating, or scarf, you know, helps the transmission, you know, of those you know, droplets. But again, do more research yourself. That's my understanding. I'm not a health professional, you know, but you know, but yeah, do your own research, you know, there. Hold on a second. Let me just look for questions again here. Joseph Lapuma. Teresa is sharing some great links. Thank you for Teresa. Billy Buckaloo read a news release for Laredo issuing $1,000 fines. That's right, Billy. We just covered that, you know, here. Ray Stewart, Travis Air Force Base is not practicing safety. So, you know, when you see yourself, Ray, you know, when you're in this situation, and I had this conversation with other drivers, you know, your first responsibility is to yourself and to your friends and your family, okay? If you feel like you're you know, at a customer or whatever, you're in an environment, you know, that's not safe for you, raise your hand, leave the environment, you know, contact us, you know, somebody, you know, whether it's your driver manager or, you know, HR or somebody, and we'll help resolve that for you. I mean, it's, you know, again, your first responsibility is to yourself, you know, I mean, and utilize us to help, you know, get a customer in line with safety practices or whatever. But Ray, thanks for sharing that. So, and then Kyle has offered a threat that I'm not that afraid of, frankly. Okay, all right. Moving on here. So, a couple of FYIs. Carrier's Edge, guys. You know, here's the tough thing of this. You know, I mean, it's, you know, and you know, there's an extra burden on drivers, you know, as we go through this. There's an extra burden on HR. There's an extra burden on all facets of our systems and processes. But don't forget, we have to maintain our everyday business, our core business, okay? As a reminder, Carrier's Edge, you know, the safety videos and the training, you know, that's you know, we're required to do, you know, once a month. Please stay up on that, okay? I mean, it's, you know, regardless of you know, the coronavirus, if we don't, you know, keep our endorsements, if we don't keep legal and, you know, our standards, you know, and everything, you know, that's going to limit our ability to perform work. So please, you know, do the Carrier's Edge, okay? TWIC card. We have, at last count, 67 drivers that don't have TWIC card. Let us help you get it. But just know that those, you know, the 67 who don't have TWIC card, we're going to be pushing you, okay? And we're going to be, you know, putting pressure on you to get that TWIC card. Now, the environment that we're in right now, it's not easy to find TSA offices that are open and so forth, you know, and so we're cognizant of that. We'll work within, you know, those challenges. But just be aware, you know, those of you who do not have TWIC card, you know, we need you to get them, you know, and we're going to be pushing on that there, okay? The third thing is I want to share more, but we're just going to tease this, okay? We're finalizing the details. We got a pretty cool announcement. I mean, you know, that I hope, you know, for most or all of you will help you understand, you know, feel appreciated and valued and what you're having to go through right now, okay? I mean, it's, you know, each of our job descriptions are different. You know, some are allowed to work from home, some are not. I know in Joplin, Cheryl's still there, Donnie's still there, Teresa, Andy, in orientation. You know, we have, you know, a pretty cool, you know, customer project coming in next week that we're going through all the logistics of getting a bunch of our drivers in for special training, you know, that Donnie and the safety team has been working on. And so there are, you know, just, you know, realities, you know, that, you know, some can work from home, some cannot. Well, drivers obviously can't work from home. We recognize that. And I think we have something coming Monday, you know, that will show that gratitude, you know, and that we have for each of your efforts there. Let me check out questions and stuff here real quickly. Chad Bruff, what I'm hearing, next 2 to 3 weeks is going to be worse, you know. And that's just right. I mean, you know, and Chad, I appreciate that. Stay vigilant and use every precaution possible. That's right. You know, I mean, you know, that's really all that we can do. Joseph LaPuma, any effect on new truck purchases? Lots of them are pushing 500,000 miles. Yeah, Joseph, we're still bringing in new trucks, you know, as they're scheduled. Obviously, you know, if they're not built yet, I mean, you know, that could affect delivery, but we are cycling out a lot of our trucks now. And then my best guess is I think we're probably about 35 out of the 100 or so, you know, delivered. So there's still another 70 or give or take, you know, to be coming. We're still expecting them to come, you know, but if there's, you know, manufacturing, you know, delays, you know, at KW and Volvo and, you know, Freightliner or whatever, obviously we don't control that, but I'm not aware of any delays on our delivery as of yet. But, you know, we still are expecting those new trucks. Okay. Eugene Declan, what about a driver going into a hotspot and is not allowed in other places because of that? So just as we, you know, have those disclosure forms, you know, most customers now are going to ask you, you know, what areas have you been the last couple of weeks? Answer truthfully, answer completely as you can, and then they'll make the decisions, you know, based on that. What we've been told, listen, I mean, truck drivers are all over the country, you know, and what we've been told is that there may be some extra precautions that we're gonna, you know, that the customer's gonna ask you to do. I mean, you know, stay in your cab, and they'll have somebody with, you know, masks and gloves, you know, bring the paperwork back and forth, you know, so on and so forth. If it reaches a point where a customer just says, hey, you're not allowed on, all you can do is contact us, you know, and we'll give you guidance from there. Okay, I mean, it's you know, we haven't had anybody, you know, banned, you know, from any locations yet. You know, I mean, we have, you know, had, you know, situations where a co-driver was asked to stay off property because, you know, they were displaying symptoms, allergies, or what have not, you know, type of thing. So we've been able to manage and figure it out, you know, thus far. But Eugene, you know, if, you know, just keep, you know, if you get into a weird situation, don't argue, you know, don't fight, you know, just you know, get a hold of us and we'll work it out directly with the customer or whatever it is that we need to do. You know, a lot of these we just can't give a blanket answer to because, you know, most situations, you know, are pretty unique, you know, so let us work through that with you, okay? Okay, so the final thing that I want to talk about here is, again, you know, hopefully we can just have some moments of not so intense seriousness all the time. We want to start with what's, something for drivers to be able to connect each other. Facebook Live, I think is a pretty valuable tool, but that's really us communicating with you, you know, and us being able to reply to comments and questions. But we're setting up a platform right now where drivers can video chat with each other. We're kind of testing it, you know, this afternoon, you know, in our office. But, you know, we thought it'd be kind of cool, and we're going to call it, you know, driver coffee chats or something like that, you know, where potentially up to 100 drivers can video chat each other and you can see each other, you know, type of thing. And so we're working on something like that just so, you know, you can have more, you know, digital social inclusion. I mean, we're having physical distancing, but, you know, it's digitally, you know, maybe we can connect a little bit better. The other thing, you know, that we're looking at is everybody loves pets, right? I mean, it's so about 9 months ago, if you remember on Facebook Live, I gave various options on some dogs I was looking to adopt, and Chansey and two or three other dogs, you know, were the options, and you guys voted on it, and Chansey got the most vote. Well, I think you guys, she just left the room, but I think you guys saw Chansey earlier. I ended up adopting Chansey, okay, you know, there, okay? So she and I have been together the last 9 months. And here's a picture of us. This is outside Amarillo, the Cadillac Ranch, I think is what that's called. Okay, we'd like to know your pets, you know, a bit better. Okay, our social media coordinator hasn't completely confirmed, you know, that she's on board with this, but I think I can twist her arm, you know, on it. So send us your pets. Send us a write-up about your pets, and we'd like to start highlighting some of your pets. You know, whether they're, you know, you're in the office or you're a driver. Whether you have them on the truck with you or at home, you know, let us know. And, you know, again, just, an opportunity to just share things. It's not just always serious and sober all the time. So let me check again for quick questions. Nope, I don't really see anything. So, Rosa Charles through Facebook. Yes, send us the pictures of your pets. Through Riley. What's the best way? I think it's Facebook at tristatesecured.com or social media at tristatesecured.com. Or you can send it directly to me or send it directly to Riley, preferably. So anyway, yes, let us know about that. If any other questions or comments, please let us know. Spread the word that on Monday, to make sure you check your email and check out Facebook Live, and we've got a pretty cool announcement that we're excited to share with each of you. Chancey's back here, there. So any other comments or questions, please email them to Cheryl and I, and we'll make sure we'll get you answers there. Okay, thanks everybody. Have a great weekend.